Joe Weider come on and said, "This is the monument and blueprint of my company." Snatched the thing off.
Where's the fro? That's not your fro.
What happened to my head? What happened to my head?
You see, I'm a big fan of bodybuilding, and I study and I like to learn from like magazines from back in the day. Like this is 1979, Robby on the cover, September. That's the bust of Robby in flesh. November, there's a bust in bronze. Now, can you see the any difference here? There's a different head. So we have September, November. What happened here? How come your bust has Joe Weider's head?
That's the major conflict. That was one of the things that created, I think, in a sense, everybody was aware of it. Bad feeling between Arnold and myself. Mm-hmm. But I don't have any bad feeling about it because I wasn't totally aware of it. Mm-hmm. I found out as I was going along that it was supposed to have been his body that Weider used to create the monument for his company, not Robby's. Uh-huh. But what Joe Weider did, he called me up and said, "Well, Robby, I want to make you the model of my company." And I thought, a wealthy $400 million man going to let a black man be the monument for his company.
Something's not right here.
That was my whole attitude about it because I'm thinking, you got to be some behind it. My lady friend Elaine was very pissed off because she thought, they're just using you. That's what she said to the, in the whole context of it. And I went out to the office for 7 days. They had the guy coming up with the scapula, the big mound of clay. I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, wow, this is pretty interesting. I'm going to just play it out and see what happened. Uh-huh. And in that process of it, the guy came up with the scapula, all those lines and curves and shape and veins.
You were posing for hours.
I was posing for hours, just sit there and hold that pose.
Wow.
And he would tell me flex, I would be flexing and flexing all those muscles, and those muscles would be coming out, and he would just carve it in there with that little scapula all over the whole body. And then my head was on it. The Fu Manchu,
the fro,
the afro, everything was on that statue. And I was amazed. I had never seen anything like that. I was an art student. I grew up in art. Uh-huh. So I seen the sculpturing and everything, but I was just shocked to see my own image and it looked just like me. I was shocked. And I'm sitting there, and after he finished and everything, Joe Weider said, "Robby, you can leave." So I'm assuming right after I left, he did the same thing. They just painted his head on my body.
Wow.
That's what was happening.
Wow.
And then when we went to the unveiling, myself and Elaine.
Where was this? In LA? Santa Monica?
Right here in LA at a big gathering. There was a big party. Uh-huh. They were introducing it to all the people that had the Weider supplements coming from all over the world. It must have been 5,000 people.
Wow.
And we were sitting in the audience, myself and Elaine, and they rolled the big bus out on the stage, all the lights and everything. The news media was there. And I'm sitting there waiting for the unveiling, had a blue sheet over the whole thing. And I'm thinking, wow, isn't this incredible to myself? And then Joe Weider come on and said, "This is the monument and blueprint of my company." Snatched the thing off.
Where's the fro? That's not your
What
fro.
happened to my head? What happened to my head? And my lady friend whose name was cussing, that. She was going all the way off. And I was sitting there like,
Wow.
oh boy.
She was gonna rip off his head.
They had to take her out of there because she just went all the way off.
Wow.
She was pissed.
Wow.
Because she knew that, that he had taken advantage of the situation.
Yes.
And then once they got back to the gym, Arnold stopped working out with me completely.
Wow.
We was all working together, myself, Arnold, Ed Corney, Danny Gabriel. It was the four of us. We were all training together. And from that point on, he just started training with just Ed Corney by himself.
Yeah.
And I think that pretty much destroyed the relationship in a sense.
That was it.
Yeah. But I didn't feel bad I felt bad about the fact that I was used and taken advantage of, and it created bad feelings between myself and him.
Yeah.
And it's still going on to this day. And it's sad, but that's, in that world, I mean, you can do things like that when you got 400 million, you can do whatever you want.
Yeah.
And get away with it. And that's not, and as I say, I took it to court. No law firm wanted to even be bothered with it.
Yeah. You cannot win it. Again, to this day, we see it everywhere. It's
It's everywhere.
on posters. I saw it on a sweatshirt the other day. Whatever's related to the Olympia, it's your bust. And I feel I've heard this story many times, and I heard it from you. And I just want the world to know this story, the truth about the bust. The bust is yours. It's Mr. Robby Robinson.
I'm geared to go to Italy and do my work over there.
Yes,
do
we
the
will
master
talk about
class
that
and things
too. There's a
with
seminar.
Alfredo then.
Yes.
And Alfredo went to the IFBB people there
Uh-huh.
in Italy. They want nothing to do with Robby Robinson.
Wow.
Nada. Because of the fact that I have spoken out about that whole situation.
Yeah.
They don't want to be bothered with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't bother me.
Of course.
It's their decision to not be a part of it, and I just left it alone. When Alfredo called me and said, Robby, the IFBB don't want to have anything to do with it. They won't support it. They won't talk about it. They won't put it in the magazine.
Yeah.
They have nothing to do with it.
You know what's interesting? The same person that built the bust, the sculptor, his name is Ralph Crawford. He also built the monument for Arnold in Columbus, Ohio. And he actually builds all the statues and all the trophies for the Arnold Classic.
Yeah, same thing.
So it's like,
It's the same person, right?
yeah, same person.
Yeah, amazing. Yeah.
So just a little fact I did in my own research, and also the story. Like I read the story, so the way they present it, they put their own narrative. It's like they can paint a picture, and you cannot have anything to say about it because it's their magazine. And the way they said it in the magazine, they basically said they didn't. The sculptor says this. He didn't say, "Oh, I was doing Robby for a week." He basically says, I'm going to read it. It's like a one sentence. What he says is, give me 1 second. Here's what he says. It's only one sentence. He says, it so happened that the day Crawford was at the Muscle Builder office, Robby Robinson made an appearance too. And someone suggested, how about doing that one, pointing to Robby, in color? So it's almost like somebody suggested to the sculptor, oh, what if you do a sculpture of Robby? That's what it said in the magazine.
Yeah, exactly.
Instead of saying, actually, Joe reached out to me and asked me to pose for hours upon hours while Ralph is sculpting the bust. So they spin their own stories, and it's like you have to buy the magazine from 50 years ago to see what they wrote and how they push that narrative, that story. It's amazing. I mean, I love studying history. I love history, especially it has to do with bodybuilding.